Hi all, this lesson is on how to fix color cast, and I found this old PDF. It's been hiding in the free page of free PDFs all these years. I wrote it probably back in 2006, and I opened the forum with the videos in January 2008, and I had been trying to do matching videos to each PDF that I had already created, and here it is 2012, and here's one I found that I never did finish because I never did get through with the photography class, and I am so glad I'm finally doing that. So we're going to be going back and forth, flipping from the tutorial here to Photoshop. We've just learned how to get the correct white balance in our cameras, and as we have been doing throughout this photography class, if you don't get it right in the camera, you can always fix it in Photoshop. And there are 3 ways of fixing it in this tutorial, and the last one, when we get to it, it's really going to help you understand and see how the camera is actually fixing it. So it's going to help you understand those camera settings a little bit more. And so we're just going to read along. One of the biggest quick fixes I see that can be done in layouts, and often do it in my own layouts, is to fix the color cast. It is easy to spot, especially when a white wall is not white or a white collar on a shirt is not white. And so I have a very difficult time with photos in my own home because we have a small house with lots of wood furniture and wood floors, and the color of the oak throws the yellow gold into every photo. So it's not necessarily the lighting, it's your walls and your furniture and your floors that can cause your white balance to be off. And so to quickly fix color cast, we're going to go into Photoshop now and look at this. And I have this photo that I obviously took a long time ago with my son. It is obviously color cast, and you can see it's obviously from all the wood in my house. Very bad. This is the quickest fix you can do, and the one I often default to because it works so well. Click on Enhance, Adjust Color, and Remove Color Cast. Now, not always do the tools work well in Photoshop Elements, and this tool is not in the full version of Photoshop. So if you're in the full version of Photoshop, you're all out. I miss it when I'm in the full version. And you come up with this eyedropper tool, and basically you either click, as it says over here, on something gray, white, or black. And most of the time I just go for something white. Well, so his shirt is supposed to be white, and I'm going to find an area that's supposed to be the whitest and click down on it, and just like that, our photo is pretty much fixed. If you don't like that, find another white area, and you can see the photo is getting much bluer. That's a little bit too blue. That's because I clicked on a shadow area of his shirt, and the shadow area is going to be a little bit more gray. Curtains over here are also supposed to be white, and so I can just, the wall is supposed to be white. I find when I click on my walls, though, I can't get a good color. They're always a little too blue, but that's not too bad in there. So actually, sometimes you can go for teeth, but people don't always have white teeth. See, that got way too blue. There's white milk. The white milk doesn't work too bad. So, and then you would click OK, but actually I'm going to click cancel so that we can go back and play again. Let's duplicate this in case I change permanently change it. And so that is how you fix it using the Fun tool, and that's the one I usually use most often when I'm in Photoshop Elements. The next one is going to be fixing it with the Levels tool. And let's just go back to Photoshop, and I'm gonna do Control L to bring up my levels. And you may not have noticed this before because we've mostly used levels to correct the exposure, and you can see this is not a bad exposure. As we've already talked about that in the photography class, we can look at this here. You would understand that this is pretty level, and it should, you know, be bell shaped, but at least it goes from one end to the other, so it's not bad. But over here you're going to see 3 eyedroppers, and if you've never noticed those before, you're going to wonder what those are for. Now I could click auto and see what happens. It doesn't really fix the white balance, so we're going to do reset. And the first one is a black, the middle one is gray, and the last one is white. So I'm going to select the white one, and it is set to white, which you're going to see that here in a minute. So we can go over here and tell it where it's supposed to be white in the layout, just like the quick fix tool. And so somewhere in here we had said it's supposed to be white, and you can see how nice that fixed it. So if you're in the full version of Photoshop, this is just like that other tool, and easily fixable. And if you see, we click on the wall. When we clicked on the wall in the other one, we got blue. This time we got it not looking too bad. I'm going to click here, and the milk. So you can see how you can get various whites. Click on his. Oh, that's bad. So it does work a little bit different than the other tool, but very similarly. So I've told it that where is the best one. I'm going to reset and click over here on the curtains. Oh, gotta click back down on the white. There we go. And so I'm going to choose that as our white and quit playing around. Now I can click on the black one and then tell it where there is some black in the photo. Now there's actually not much black in this photo. I could maybe try to get the center of his eyes. However, I am aware on the frame back here that this is supposed to be black, and so I'm going to click on that, and you can see that made it a little too dark. Don't really like that. Let's go for the center of his eye. That is a little bit better. And so you could tell it where black is at in the photo also. I don't often like to set the black. It sometimes works better in nature photos, but not in people photos of portraits. Okay, let's go back and read a little bit about the gray one, because I said it so well here. and then we'll go back to Photoshop. The middle dropper for gray is a bit trickier. It is assigned to a specific gray, which is actually 50% gray. And to find that, which you are aware now, because I think we did it, that those gray cards are 50% gray. And so if you had a gray card and part of your photo, you could easily use the middle one. But let's go back to read. It is assigned to a specific gray, and to find that particular gray in the photo is difficult. I couldn't go to my photo of my son and go, oh, that's a 50% gray right there, and click on it. Unless you've used a gray card and you have a gray card in the picture. So I don't use it too often. However, there is a fun advanced feature for you to explore. Double click on the gray eyedropper, or any of the three, but I usually reserve it for the gray and leave the other two set, and the color picker will pop up. And note that the gray that PSE has assigned. You can change this color to any gray, to any color, to be the target color. Does this not open up a lot of possibilities? For instance, how often does your camera obtain the correct colors in one photo but not the other? And I did this with some wedding photos that I thought I was never ever going to be able to salvage. They were taken, and the red carpet in the room, oh, it was just horrible. No two photos looked the same. And so I was actually able to use this technique. So I clicked on the gray one. I don't have two photos here to show you, but I opened it up and I said, you see it's set to 50% gray. It's 0050 or 1/28 all here. This is 50% gray. So if you ever need to get it back, just remember that it's 0050. And what I did was to take this and go out into my photo, and I don't really have any color in this photo, but okay, I'm just going to select his skin and select it, oh, I don't know, on the tip of his nose. Okay, and it's pretty orange. It shouldn't be this orange. Tells me I still don't have the color cast quite right in this, but we're going to fix it later. The best method to fix it, to fix this particular photo. Each method works different on different photos, so you sometimes have to play till you get it right. But let's just say I've got this exactly the color I want. And so I'm going to click right on the tip of his nose, and I am going to save that and click OK. Now this is no longer set to gray. It is set to this orange. And so now what I'm going to do is open up my other photo, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to touch the exact same point that I did on this photo, which would be his nose, and it will set that image to be, I must not have clicked exactly right. You can see how it's changing depending on where I click. But if you have clothes with color, that really like the bridesmaids dresses, you can really get this to get all the photos to match by doing that. I think what I did with my wedding photos, I had to play a while, but there was a wall behind them, and it of course was, I forget, it was a wood color, and I actually used that instead of the bridesmaids' clothes, and was able to click on the same point of that wall behind them to correct the color cast and get the photos to all look the same. And so that is how you can use this. That's a big tip for you if you have more than one photo that you've taken in one spot, to get them all the same, and to fix the color cast. So we are going to return this because it will stay there. And next time I open it up to use it, I'll go, what's wrong with this? Always return it to 50% gray. well, here it says save the new target colors as default, and I'm going to say no, so it'll also go back to that 50% gray. So that's how you use the levels tool. Now that was kind of fun, huh? Now here's the third one, and it's using blending modes, and it's a fun way that you can also tint photos if you want. There's a class lesson in course 2 on tinting photos that uses the blending modes to tint. But this also corrects, and so what I got a note here, it's under blur. Okay. What we're going to do is to duplicate this layer, and you can see I already made it up here. I had saved it from when I first did the tutorial, but we're going to duplicate this layer and then go to filter, blur, and average. Now when I click on average, what it's going to do is it's going to take all of the little pixels in the entire photo, and it's going to find the average color, the middle color, or the average. It's going to take like all the little color numbers and add them all up and divide by the number of color numbers to find the average, if you remember math class. And that's the color, the average color of my photo. And so you can see my photo is a little bit more on the orange side. And in Photoshop, and this is the same way it works in your camera, and you'll recall our chart. If you have too much orange in your photo, you have to add blue to it. If you have too much blue in your photo, you have to add orange to it. And so we have too much orange in our photo. And so I have to add the exact opposite to my photo to correct it. This is the same thing that our camera is doing when we change the white balance. The color wheel, and this is also taught in course 1. If you want to go back to course 1, it's one of the last lessons. There's also a free PDF if you want to read that, or just go back and watch it, because this will really help you understand this again, which also helps you understand your camera. If you look at a color wheel, and we look at it in that lesson in course 1, the warm colors are on one side and the cool colors are on the other side, warm being more orange, cool being more blue. And so the direct opposite color on the color wheel is, well, I don't know how to say that. Go back and watch that tutorial. And so to get the direct opposite on the color wheel in Photoshop, all we have to do, and we've done this in finding the most, there's another lesson in course 2 that reinforces this on finding the perfect background color. You may want to go look that up. All we do is hit Control-I for invert, and now this is the exact color on the opposite side of the color wheel. This is the blue that we are going to use to fix this photo. This would be the blue that the camera uses to fix the photo when you get the right color balance, when you get the right white balance setting. And now all I need to do is blend this in, and I believe it is Color Dodge works the best for my particular photo. And Whammo, you can see here how it is now a much better photo. So I have before and after. you can see how it really fixes the white balance. The other one that works really well is overlay. In my case, it did not work that well. Of course, you can use, because you can see it put too many shadows on it. It depends if this works different for different photos, and so try soft light. Doesn't work too bad in this one, so you would just go through and look at the various blending modes to see which one works best. But in my case, the color dodge worked best. Usually one of those three are the ones you're going to use. This one, screen, that's kind of cool, puts a like an oldies feel to it, like Instagram. Anyway, so just like that, my photo is fixed from this to that, and it's really not that many steps. I mean, if you think about it, it's not that hard. We're going to duplicate, go up to filter, blur, average, and change our, whoops, that came up with a different average. Oh, I forgot to do the invert. Control I and color dodge, just like that. Shall I do it again real fast? Do it the right way. Duplicate, average, control I, color dodge, fixed. So it's really not that many steps once you learn them. And hopefully that helps you understand your camera a little bit better. Now if you wanted, you could even call up the Control U and play with it and see if anything else kind of gets it to look better. Actually, look at that. I upped the saturation on that blue and everything got even whiter. I like that. That's just about perfect there. Kind of got rid of, I upped the saturation, which if you think about it, what's it doing? It's making it more blue. So the more blue I'm making it, the less orange I am making it. Right? The little color chart we made, the little cheat sheet we made, yeah, hopefully it's all coming together for you. So right about there actually looks pretty good. I think that's probably about the best of the color correction that I can get. There we go. Yay. I just love how all that came together, and I hope you all are having all these little light bulb moments coming on in your head. Yeah. Yay, 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 yay. I know when I first learned this how excited I was. Yes. Yes. So, I want you to get out there for this lesson and get a photo like this that the white balance is off, and fix it and show me some before and afters. Have fun.